Now, if you just listen to my top 10 list of things that I wish I'd done when I started my business, you might think that I was a bit of a buffoon and I did absolutely nothing right. And it's a miracle that I became successful online at all. But nothing could be further from the truth because there are several things that I did well at the beginning, and I'm glad that I did those things well. And so I think I would like to share those with you right now. So this is bonus content, 5 things I'm glad that I did when I started my online business. And the first thing is I am glad that very early on when I started my online business, I paid attention to Marcus Sheridan. My audience asked questions and I answered. Marcus has a book called They Ask, You Answer, which is, as far as I'm concerned, the Bible for content marketers. It is the single path to success for us to build a trusting, following community of our content and of ourselves. It's the simplest thing possible. Once you establish whatever platform you're on, in my case, it was YouTube, pay attention to the comments, read the comments and the questions people are asking and answer those questions and use those conversations to inform you about future content that you're creating so that your content is relevant to your community. If you serve your community, if you answer the questions people have, you will build trust, you will build a relationship, and through those questions, you will be able to develop vibrant and vital products that you can turn into profit centers. They ask, you answer. Read it. For me, it was the single most valuable business book I have ever read. There's a link here in the document. The second thing that I did that was very good for me was I played to my strength. I'm good at video. I come from a television background, so that's not a mystery. But play to your strength. Don't try and be something that you can't be. If you're a good writer, write a blog. Yes, blogs might not be the sexiest thing on the planet, but they're very effective. And if we think about niching down, if we think about focusing on our core community, there will be people who will read your blog. If you're good at audio, if you are comfortable and you enjoy the format, then create podcasts. I would say it's more important for you to play to your strengths than to worry as much about making sure that your audience is following the platform that you are delivering on, if that makes sense. So for example, if you think more people are listening to podcasts than reading blogs, but you are a much better writer than you are a podcaster, write the blog. Don't worry about the podcast. Play to your strength. Work from your strengths and you will find more success. The third thing is one of the real challenges, certainly for people like me who are interested in technology, is I picked a toolkit at the beginning that I worked with as far as managing my business, and I stuck with that toolkit. I didn't change tools because something brighter and shinier with more features came along. So even though I picked a webinar package, I used a tool called Webinar Jam early on. Now, eventually we migrated off of it, but not for several years. Through our formative years, we stuck with the one tool. So even when there was webinar packages that came out with some more bells and whistles that I would have liked to use, I stuck with the one that I was comfortable with, that my community was comfortable with, because I knew I could deliver my core content using that platform. I understood it intimately, understood its strengths and weaknesses, and so I stayed with it. I kept riding that horse. Similarly, once I chose my CRM, once I chose to use Infusionsoft in my case, even though at times it was frustrating because there were some things that it didn't do that other packages could, I didn't flip back and forth. I didn't waste the cycles learning to use a new business tool that had 1 or 2 extra features. Instead, I figured out how to overcome the limitations by really knowing how to use the tool that I was using intimately. I became really good on all of the tools that I used. I kept it to a small toolkit, and I didn't cast my eyes longingly at other tools. I stayed with my core tools for a very long time. Now, eventually we did grow out of a few of the tools, but for those formative years, I stuck with the same toolkit. The last 2 things that I'm really glad that I did from the very beginning of building my online business probably harken back to my time in mainstream media, television and radio. And the first and most important of that is I aggressively, to this day, still do, I protect my reputation. And by saying that I aggressively protect my reputation, I'm not telling you that you should go out and attack anybody who's critical of you. That's not what I mean at all. By protecting your reputation, it means that you only put your name behind something that you believe in. You only put out work that you are happy with to have representing you as you deliver it. Now, you obviously can't always hit a home run. If you're doing live streams, the odd time you're going to say something stupid and you're just going to land a turkey and you're just going to have to deal with it. But as far as products that you recommend, the way that you treat your community, how you handle people, how you handle objections, how you handle criticism, how you handle all of those things, by aggressively protecting your reputation and realizing it's your most valuable asset as you move forward, because it's the one thing that you have that nobody else has online, is you have your reputation. And a good reputation leads to just pure internet gold, which is trust. If your community trusts you because you have protected your reputation and you have put forward your best work and you've proven to be trustworthy, then you have a basis to do business moving forward. And everything gets easier when people respect you. So you respect your reputation online, protect it, and that's just going to pay dividends for as long as you're in business. Plus, you feel good about it as well as you go ahead. And kind of along the same line is I think this shines through, is recognizing that if you protect your reputation online, if you build yourself a great brand, you really have no competition online. You don't have to worry about what others are doing. You can learn from the different things that people who are your perceived competition, people who are in the same space as you do, you can learn what's working and what's not working for them. But I never worried about what somebody else was publishing on YouTube or what somebody else was creating in my space. In fact, if somebody did something good in my space, for example, as I was talking about teaching people how to use Evernote, I would bring them into my sphere and I would say, hey, this guy's got some great ideas on using Evernote. You should pay attention to it, even though we are selling a course on using Evernote. The amount of credibility that establishes by just your sense of place. If you are confident in yourself enough to actually say that somebody else has a good idea who's in the same space as you, it just goes miles to building your reputation with your community and going further to engender that most valuable aspect, which is trust. At the end of the day, if you've got that trust, as I say, everything in your online business works that much more smoothly. So there you have it. 10 things that I wish I'd done better. 5 things that I'm really glad I did. I hope that you found this valuable on your own journey towards building a massively successful and trustworthy online business. Till next time, have fun storming a castle.